know if I go home. I missed you folks last week. Oh, thanks. That made me feel so good. You know, sometimes I wonder if I've noticed it. I really did miss you. I really did. I tell you, I got the chance to visit my niece's Unitarian Universalist Church in Denver, and it's wonderful to know that there are other groups of the tribe out there. Yeah, they have the Peace Pole in their front yard too. It was very awesome. So, although I had a wonderful time, I missed my tribe, and I'm so glad to be back here with you. Welcome to Unity of Music City, where we do experiences of authentic transformation. We do, that's who we are. I've got just a couple of announcements for you. First off, happy May Day. Today is May Day. Historically, a Gaelic seasonal festival known as Beltane, and this is the day when they honored the actual kind of beginning of summer. Even though the summer solstice hasn't happened yet, we're about halfway between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. But this was the day that they built a bonfire, and the traditional day that they would send their cattle out to the field. So when you get home, be sure to send your cattle out to the field. Sure, Reverend Dean, that there's some kind of sermon in there somewhere about time to send your cattle out to the field. Happy May Day. I want to tell you that everything that's happening in May is in one of these handy green little bulletins at the back that says April 2016 at the top of it. It's a May Fool's Day thing, I think. I'm not sure. But at any rate, we had a little typo at the top. Don't worry about it. You'll get over it. We've scratched it out. We've written May. May 2016. Everything is up there. Coming up today, this afternoon, we have Felicia Searcy with us in the house today. You're going to be hearing more about that in just a moment, but Felicia will be here all afternoon this afternoon for her Dream Big, Dream Bold workshop from 1 to 4. And after you hear her, if you haven't made a decision about whether or not to stay, just wait. Talk for a little while and you'll make your decision, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
100% of the workshop proceeds comes back to the church.
100% of the workshop proceeds, there's a $25 suggested love offering, comes back to the church. So please go call all of your friends. This Tuesday, May 3rd, Reiki with Bonnie. Bonnie Hassan will be doing a Reiki session called Cutting the Cords to the Past, from 7 to 9 p.m. And then, as always, we have our Wednesday night class from 7 to 9. This particular season of classes has been part class and part experience. It is never too late to come along and join. So if you need a little juice in your engine midweek, come on out Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. We're getting ready to say, one more thing. Pat's brought in 50 tomato plants, cherry tomato plants. They're in the Namaste Cafe, and if and you want to take one home and plant it, you are free to do so. Or 2, or 4, or 8. If you don't know what to do with them, Pat will be happy to instruct you on exactly what to do. As soon as she completes the singing of Oh Happy Day Today. That cannot be interrupted. Don't plant them where your cattle are going to roam. That's another talk. We've got a whole series we put together right here. This is my favorite song. If you can't just start your day this way, then you might as well go back to bed. Stand up and we start our day with love.
Start my day with love. That's what through my head. Now here's the thing, when you're right there on the edge, this is when the thinking gets the loudest. It's because you can't take this with you where you're going. And so the thoughts that were running my thinking gets the loudest.
Silent amen corner in the back.
It's because you can't take this with you where you're going. And so the thoughts that were running, maybe you're just not cut out for this. Maybe you don't have what it takes to really give this group what it needs. And thinking gets the loudest. Maybe this is just your ego talking. Yeah. Maybe wanting more is really just your ego. Maybe this isn't God talking. Maybe this is just you wanting to fluff yourself up. Maybe it's God's way of saying, be happy with what you have. Because what I had was really good. Michael and I, my husband, had a really good life in Murfreesboro. And then there was a quieter voice, and when I look back now, I'm more aware of the voice, that insidious voice underneath was, maybe you really just don't deserve this much good. Yeah. Please tell me I'm not the only one in the room with that voice. But there was something that's so profound that happened on that walk, and it was a benchmark day. It was a marker day. We all have those marker days in our lives, and that was a marker day for me. What if today is a marker day for you? What if today, and whatever you decide today, is a day that you look back and you say, that was a day that can mark my life. Maybe you don't have. And so I'm stomping around that neighborhood, just, flinging the sweat out of my eyes, cussing at God. And there was a rebellion. There was a voice of rebellion that just rose up in the very souls. What it takes to really give this group what it needs. That can't be so. I cannot have this level of desire to want to bring this much impact to the world and to experience a greater degree and my finances and my wealth and my ability to contribute to the things that are deeply meaningful for me. Maybe this is just your ego talking. This level of desire without their means for that to come about. And I can remember, I stopped. I can never forget. It was in, Northwoods Drive, right there in Northwoods neighborhood in Murfreesboro. I stopped and I stomped my foot and I said, maybe wanting more is really just your ego. Maybe this isn't God talking. I'm getting this figured out. Maybe this is just. And I also knew that I had gone as far as I could at my level of training I had up to that point. That I needed something very specific. Very structured. Maybe it's a way of saying be happy with what you have. But now I needed much more structured to bring me from where I was to where I wanted to go. And I asked for help. And it was, you all know that when we transmit a signal strong enough, the universe, and we sustain it. What I had was really good. Michael and I, my husband, had a really good life in Murphy. It was, I found, how many people have been to Canuga? Okay, well, if you haven't gone, you gotta go. Y'all need to go. It was September. I was at Canuga, and I can remember. And then there was a quieter voice, and when I look back, because I can remember trying to talk myself out of going. It's like, I don't want to go, and it was, I knew I needed to be there. And so I went to Canuga, and you're gonna hear. I'm more aware of the voice that it's. And I heard my now mentor, Mary Morrissey. I heard her speak, and I heard her results. And I knew I needed to work with this voice. So once again, I'm chasing somebody down the hall, asking somebody for help. We sat down at a table, that table overlooking the lake. I'm pouring my story out to her. Now, we all have a story. And you have why the dream is not happening. It's never about the story. It's never about the story. Yeah. Please tell me. Y'all know this. I'm not the only one in the room with that voice. Help you. And I'm thinking, great. And then she told me what the cost was. But there was something that's so profound that happened on that walk. Now, here's the deal. When you say yes to more, it is Spirit's invitation for you to discover more about yourself. And there is it was a benchmark day. It was in my mind, in that moment, it looked like a financial cost. The cost is you cannot take marker day. We all have marker days in our lives, and that was a marker day into this marker day for me. What today is a marker? That there are elements, you bring the best of you with you, those continue to grow and evolve, and there are elements that you must day for you. What if today, and whatever phenomenons that get triggered the instant we start asking for something more? Number one, you decide today is a day that you look back and you say, sorta, that the instant we hear an invitation for more, that was a day I can mark my life by. They would gather information the five senses are giving. We are going out here gathering data to determine if we even want to do something or not, right? How many times have you heard yourself? I have to listen to myself. And so I'm stomping around that neighborhood, just flinging the sweat before I decide if I want to do that or not. As if having everything out of my eyes, cussing at God, whether or not you really want to do something. That we lost the ability to listen to our heart's desire. Or let me look at my children, or let me go consult the opinions of others. To get information out here to determine what we believe is possible for us or not. Here's the thing about this. And there was a rebellion. There was an echo of our highest level of awareness and allowance up to that moment. Our conditions will never give us permission for more. If they give us permission, it's not big enough. If our conditions of our outside facts are permission for more, then what we're wanting to step into is not big enough. Because the very fact that we're stepping into more requires us to go beyond what we can see in our outside world. This voice of rebellion that just rose up in the very soul of what it takes to... Yeah, so my conditions, I looked at my checkbook and I said, well, there's better uses for that money. As if that's all the money there was. I just froze the fact in that moment. And I suggested that there was something more important than my own growth and my awareness. Really give this group what it needs. That can't be... How do I have that conversation with my husband? Because to work with Mary for a year at that time was $18,000. Now this was 5.5 years ago. But how do I have that conversation with Michael? And so I cannot have this level of desire to step into something more magnificent for me. It's not to say that we are not to want to bring this much impact to the world and to experience a greater degree and where in the places do we go in our lives to look for permission for us to step into our greater magnificence. The other phenomenon that gets triggered is that you have a habit for how much success you will allow yourself to experience. We're all aware of it. Gay Hendricks talks about we are literally biologically wired for your habit of success and good. And when you start thinking about going beyond that, there's something literally inside of you, there's an alarm that gets triggered and will do everything it can to dial you right back down. My